last gen gameplay argument. Someone's bound to. I'm surprised that we're already within the last couple days of January and nothing has been shown unless they drop something as this video goes up and I'm basically putting my foot in my mouth. Yeah, that part in yesterday's video did not age well in the slightest. Techland definitely played me. I think that quote was relevant for maybe 30 seconds, and then they uploaded last gen gameplay. But I digress. Shout out to Al, even though he made fun of me, it's all in good fun. I'm happy I was proved wrong that we finally got that before February 1st. But most likely, none of you give a damn about what happened yesterday. Today, we're talking about Dying Light 2 nighttime gameplay. Before I go any further, obviously, spoiler warning, I am going to be showing some early Dying Light 2 gameplay. It is not mine, this is courtesy of Onizombies. Link to the original video will be down in the description in case you want to watch it in its entirety. I recommend it. It's a nice taste of things you can expect come the game's final release. I also want to share with you that I'm not going to be nitpicking every single thing. This is more of a video addressing the primary concern I see brought up quite a bit, and basically just starting some open dialogue with all of you and what you think about it, because I think some people are actually forgetting when it comes to the original game and how that looked at night. But let's take a look at this clip. This is the clip in question. It's about 5 minutes of solid gameplay of Onizombies running around at night. Now, the primary concern that I'm hearing a lot of people bring up is that the night is too bright, that the original was darker, scarier, you felt much more alone, and that the darkness in this game just seems a little off. Instantly, the first thing that comes to mind is I'm sure everyone can affect their own contrast, so if you want your game a little darker, that's completely up to you. But the other thing that I believe the majority are forgetting when they're bringing up the darkness from both games and comparing them is that the original game, the brightness depended on two things. One, the time of the night itself, and two, where the moon's placement was. I went into Old Town, I went into slums just to see exactly what everyone was talking about, and I think it's the first opening hours of nighttime where it's the darkest that people really seem to remember. But as you get closer towards 6 a.m., then things start to illuminate and brighten up just a little bit from the moonlight, and the flashlight isn't as necessary. The slums gameplay in particular is quite interesting because this is all captured in a single night. It goes from pitch black to really dark. There's no light at all. I mean, you really can't see anything. And then as the moon moves a little bit more, you'll notice right here, the shadows starting to move on the sidewalk. As it gets over the tower, the entire map is lit up because obviously there's nothing blocking the moonlight now. And then I got a weird rogue thunderstorm, which made everything dark. The flashlight was pretty much required. And then after that, lasting for about an hour or two in game, the thunderstorm cleared up and everything was lit up perfectly well from the moonlight again. So I think it's a mixture of the placement of the moon, the time of the night, and the other thing is the sequel has so many more vibrant colors to it, blues, greens, things that stand out a little bit more, that it makes the game itself feel much more colorful, which on the surface could feel like the game has less of a horror feel, making people say that they fucked the night up. I mean, in the gameplay that we're seeing, the moon is in clear view, there's nothing blocking it, and the areas that are blocked by the moon, it's pretty dark. So if I had to bet money on it, it's a matter of that. It's really hard to say how the game is going to look if we get thunderstorms or any type of weather effects that are going to change the feel of the game itself. Rainstorms in the original game was fucking terrifying. I hope they return in this game. They really haven't talked that much about weather effects. Night and day has been a major part of Dying Light's DNA, obviously. Even myself, I tend to forget that rainstorms exist in the original, and it really didn't register until I had to go back and do a little bit of research for this topic. But if I had to bet money, I think it's that. I think it's a mixture of the bright, vibrant colors in the sequel, along with basically the moon being this giant ball of light lighting everything up. Will there be other nights that might be a little darker? I sure hope so. It would be nice to see, like, at least as the game progresses, we might get an update where maybe certain nights you'll get eclipses, or it'd be cloudy, things of that nature, and when it's cloudy, you'll get special infected, or the infected themselves become slightly more aggressive, or have a higher likelihood of mutating or evolving. I think that would be cool in a future update to kind of add a little bit of extra spice to the gameplay that's already there. Does it take away from the horror feel? I honestly think that's going to be something that you would have to say when you experience the game yourself. I highly doubt it takes away from that adrenaline rush of activating that flight or fight feeling of upping that chase level and just trying to escape. I like to think I've been slicing this video up pretty decently to kind of give an idea of how dark certain corridors and areas potentially do look. What makes it even harder to say is I believe this is the only nighttime gameplay we really have, so we can't compare it really to other nights or other experiences that other people had, but I felt like this was still a good enough video to kind of talk about because knows? I've been hearing a lot of that dialogue of, oh, it's too colorful, it's too bright, they messed it up. Who knows? You know, but while we're on the topic of nighttime, one thing that I really hope they do in the sequel is force you to play nighttime more often. The original only had one forced section. Sure, there might be a couple main missions that when you complete it, it's nighttime, but you can always go to a safe zone, pass out, wake up, deal with the rest of the quest in the middle of the day where there's less dangers. But with them leaning more towards the horror elements and doubling down on the nighttime effects and infected coming out at night, I really hope they make us play a handful of sections at night, especially with the improved stealth mechanics. There's so many more ways and opportunities to get around in this world and defeat both human and infected enemies. I would like to be put in situations where I can experiment with those new mechanics and not be so comfortable constantly doing what works and, you know, doing my go-to. It's fine to be kind of on autopilot and go through the motions, but every now and again it would be amazing to be put into those situations where you really have to think and experiment in a way that you otherwise wouldn't have if you weren't forced into that situation. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Have you guys watched any of this gameplay? Is this your first time seeing it? What do you think? This is officially the last weekend until the final release for Dying Light 2, so the time is near and I cannot wait. But like always guys, my name is Cynic. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys haven't joined the Discord yet, you're looking for people to play really anything or just chat in general, you can always join the Discord. Link is down in the pinned comment. If you're new to the channel, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button so that way you're kept up to date on Dying Light 2 news and guides and overall information, which come February 4th is just going to be a fucking floodgate on all of you, so be prepared. But until then, if you guys haven't seen any of my older content, feel free to click on anything on your screen. But until next time, I'll see y'all later.